Start with fire, add oil, let it simmer. From the crew at 58 Surf and Stab, this isn't just a podcast, it's a sensory experience. Fresh from the coast, full of flavor, and prepared to perfection. Well, kinda. This is 58 Surf and Turf. Let's get cooked. Welcome back to another episode of 58 Surf and Turf. Our guest today is one of the best shapers from this country, Mr. Paulo Rodrigues.
Thank you.
How are we doing?
Good. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with that introduction.
Oh, come on.
It's me really on the
Can
spot.
this man back me up? Because he,
Well, he used to be one of the best surfers in Portugal. Now he's one of the best shapers for sure.
Well, thank you for the kind words.
No, it's true.
maybe we'll get to shaping. We'll start with the surf part. I'm hearing some rumors of a national championship.
Yeah, I was. Curiously enough, I was the same year that Sonny Garcia was also world champion.
Okay, 99?
2000.
2000.
And I think it was mainly because there was a turn on the way the judges would judge. And that beneficiates Sonny, but also beneficiate me. Because I was never very innovated and stuff like that. So it was more like rail in the water, power surf, not the best style, but yeah, I had those characteristics.
Yeah.
And I think it beneficiated me when they did that transition to a little bit more power surf, more rail.
I guess they had Aki the year before that, winning a title too. So it was just like, they wanted to see the rail game come.
Yes. I think it was because of that.
And it was a funny one, actually, because it was between him and Gregorio, one of his best friends. And they both went to the final. Whoever won the final, like the world title with Gabi and Italo, it was the same thing. So, and he won. The contest was here in Ribeira de Ilhas. Beautiful waves. And Nico Riku, who was their shaper back then, he didn't knew he was crazy because he didn't knew who to hoot for, you know. So both of them were his team riders. So it was really funny to watch that final.
For me, I just needed to finish in front of him.
Yeah, but back and forth.
Yeah.
On first place.
I ended up winning that one, and he got second. And it was a highlight for sure in my surfing career, if I can call it like that.
Yeah. Nice. So year 2000, winning a national title. How did you start surfing? What was your journey up until that point?
I started surfing when I was actually 18.
Oh, really?
Very, very late. And I started surfing like, I still remember actually what led me to start surfing was this guy I saw on the beach standing up on a board. Very simple. I got hooked by seeing that guy on top of the board.
Where was it? What beach?
It was in Estoril, São João do Estoril, where I originally come from. A beach called Praia da Poça. Mythical beach. And great beach that gave a lot.
The best beach in the world for João Capucho, for example.
Well, it's actually a spot that gave a lot of the best athletes, surfing athletes from
Vasco Ribeiro, David Raimundo.
One of the best coaches.
You.
Pirujinho. Pirujo.
Yeah.
A whole generation of good surfers that came from that spot. But yeah, it was like that. I just saw a guy standing up on a board and I was like, what the hell is that? I want to do that. And since I live really close to the ocean, it was just coming down the hill, 15 minutes. I was always on the beach. And it was a natural process. Then after that, I got a little bit of a skimboard and I just put it in front of my hands and just started riding the first waves. It was just like that with a bit of a skimboard. After that, during that era in Portugal, it was very common to have these styrofoam boards, molded styrofoam boards that they would sell in the supermarkets.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually my first dream of a board, because I was like, family-wise, we were poor. You didn't have a lot of resources. So only have that little piece of wood. My first dream was like, oh, I wish I could have one of those styrofoam boards. Then I found one in the garbage, like half of it, because they would break really easy. They're not glassed or anything, but just molded styrofoam. So I got one of those, and I went from having my hands and the rest of the body out to have half of the body in, because I had a half of styrofoam, and started like that. And then, of course, like all histories, like you want more and more and more. And then I wanted my board, a real board, like I call it, like fiberglass boards.
Yeah.
And
You went to work?
yeah, and during that time, there was a friend of mine that was selling one, and I talked with my mother. Says, "Hey, I would like to buy this board." At the time, was 12,000 escudos. I don't even know how much is that euros.
Man, it's 60 euros.
60?
Yeah, 60.
Okay, so it was 12,000 escudos, and I asked my mother if she could buy it, and she said, "Look, we don't have money, but let's do a deal. If you do good in school until Christmas, and if you get half of it, I'll give you the other half." So I went to work a couple places. Like I remember down the corner, we had this guy who imports bananas.
Mm-hmm.
And there's huge trucks coming with boxes of bananas. He has these refrigerators where he store them. So I waited in the corner sometimes until 2 o'clock in the morning just to unload boxes of bananas. So I did that for a whole bunch of time, and all the little money that my mother would give me once a week to buy a cake in school for like a treat, I would save all that until I got half of it. After that, I went to my mother and said, "Look, I did all right in school, so here's half.
Yeah.
So can you give me the other half?" And she said, like, "I can't give you, I'm sorry. We don't have money."
Yeah.
And I was really, really sad. And she saw that I was really sad, and I put a lot of effort. She said, "Hey, look, go to your friends, and if your friend makes it a little cheaper, I'll do that effort." So I went to talk with him, and he agreed. So he did it. He did 10,000. So my mother gave me the rest.
Yeah.
So I put it in, and I got my first surfboard.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's where it started, with the surfboard.
And was it with that surfboard that you got into the national contest? No, that was another board.
That was my first board.
Okay.
My real surfboard, fiberglass, 3-fin. And then after that, I got completely hooked on surfing, to a point where when I was going to school, I would go down the hill, see the waves, go back up, get the board, don't go to school. My mother was very upset with me, to a point where she started saying, "Hey, if you don't go to school, you don't go surf." But I would go anyway, and she would get home and like, "You went surfing. I told you not to go surf." "No, I didn't go." "No, you went surfing." And then I would like, "How do you know I went surfing?" "Because you're completely purple."
Yeah.
It's blue. Your lips are blue. Because the first year, I didn't have a wetsuit. I had this top.
Yeah.
It was from a brand of diving wetsuits called Subaqua.
Subaqua. I had
So
one.
I had half of it that I found, and I did the first year of surfing with shorts, and that half of
Just middle of winter.
middle of winter. And my mother would find out, because I would
course, you were
come
blue.
home completely blue, lips blue and everything. Then after that, like for second year, I got the shorts. I took the sleeves out of the wetsuit, put it under, and surfed the wetsuit. Surfed the second year with a short, O'Neill actually, pink and black, really, with a short, with the sleeves. And after that, just things progressed. I started working in cafes as an electrician helper to get money for my second boards. And things progressed from there. And Then the story that Miguel was referring to was I started doing little contests, and back then I was working in construction, and we had this contest in Viana do Castelo.
Way north.
In the north, yeah.
Yeah, and I bought this brand new board from an attic because where I lived you would have a lot of drugs. It was a big scene of drugs.
Yeah.
Back then, it was called Supermercado da Linha,
Yeah.
to a reference to supermarket.
Linha
and
supermarket.
Yeah.
And I bought the board, brand new board, actually from Poland, from the guy nowadays I shake. And during this period, I started working in surfboards. At the same time, I started surfing. So I started doing little repairs and sanding. So I bought that board. I sent it over because he had a huge, thick glass because he was polished, glass on fins. So I sent all the glass out to get a little lighter. And I asked my boss on construction to see if he would give me Friday off so I can go to Figueira, to Vienna. And he said no. And I said, look, if you're not gonna let me go, I will quit. So I said, okay, let's go. So I went, and yeah, I did really good. I got second.
Second or third, yeah, right.
Second.
Yeah.
Only to Almir Salazar.
Almir Salazar.
That year he was national champion.
Yeah, second. 92, so 92.
Yes, around that.
92.
So I got second. I got Monday. I went, and during this time I was saving money, not only for surfboards, but to go to France because annually they had this Pro Junior.
Yeah.
And it was a big contest because you'd see all the juniors that after that would become professionals.
Yeah.
Guys like Jake Patterson, Mark Bannister, old names like that, Jake Spooner.
Jake Spooner.
A lot of those names that back then they did the QS and stuff. They were big names. So I was saving money to go and see the pros because back then here we didn't have a lot of contests like that dimension.
That brought those people over, yeah.
So so Monday I got to my job and said, look, I quit. I have enough money to go. He got really upset with me to a point that it took like over 6 months to pay the rest that he owed.
Really?
Because, yeah, he let me go and I quit next.
Yeah. Well, you ended up doing really good, so.
yeah, I had enough money.
He should have been enjoying for you, no?
Yeah.
I should understand.
But it wasn't.
So from there, you're able to pretty much just fund your life just through surfing, just through events and stuff like that, or did you still have to kind of work jobs to get to contests and stuff like that?
I still did some jobs. Throughout my career, maybe I had like 2-3 years that I was really I wouldn't say good paid, but I had okay paid to live out of surfing.
Yeah.
From all the years, I had enough to help me out and get some money. But I always worked after that job. I didn't work in construction anymore, but I always worked in surfboards.
Okay.
Always. I would do little interruptions of it, but I always worked on surfboards. Chuchu, tchau Zesco. Se quiseres ajuda, acho que tinha uns calções. Pronto.
Tchau, Bruto.
Abraço.
Muito soon. Obrigado.
Fun guest there. Cool. So you just, did you start with sanding or glassing?
I
or
just doing little repairs first.
Okay.
Then I went to sanding, and back then sanding was rough. Today is still a rough thing to do in surfboards, but back then it was rough. You didn't have sanding machines. You had grinders. It was like you would put it on the wrong place, the board would fly to the next room, and you would sand like bang, bang, bang because it was so strong,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, I started like that, and all my life working in surfboards, I got into sanding, which helped me after to become a shaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been always involved since I was 18 in surfboards, because it was always a great passion for me,
Yeah.
surfboards. So to this day, I love surfboards, and I love being around them, and I love touching boards, and it's a big passion I have.
So where was that first job that you got?
I worked in this surfboard company called Atlantic from this Brazilian guy called Mauricio. I work with him. He teach me a lot, the first steps with him.
Very nice guy. Very nice guy.
Yeah, and then I eventually I worked everywhere in Portugal, and not only in Portugal, but other places too. And I had a big stint in cement surfboards.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with them probably around 18 years.
Yeah.
And they were a big part of funding all these contests and things, because I always, although I had money to do it, I always liked to be entertained and always be around. So I managed to always get some money aside from contests or from sponsors, not just to live, but to think a little bit ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember especially when I decided to move to Ericeira, because my dream was always to live or in Ericeira or in Peniche. I came to Ericeira because I fall in love with it. And me and back then Gregorio, every time we saw swell, it was like, let's go to Ericeira. And we said to each other, that's the place we're going to live. This was like, what, maybe 30 years ago?
At some point, you guys were like the kings of koshas. Huh? Come on, you were like this kid that came here, Martin Portes. He is now with his crew of kids. You were the new kids that were really.
Yeah, we were the new guys.
You were the new guys,
had,
and performance-wise, you were putting the extra level.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe so. But the kings guys were here before us. Guys like Nicoricio, like Miguel Fortes, and a whole bunch of other guys that paved the way and show me actually how to be in the water. And I learned a lot with those guys because you have to keep it a sense of respect in the water. It's not like today that a lot of people think, I'll just go there and sit where they're sitting. It wasn't like that. And it's still not.
It's still not like that.
But I think people need to realize and come back to that a little bit, because I think we're losing a little bit of that. And that, I think that's part of the culture, surf culture, to have that respect for people who are there longer,
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, back then, like because of all the things I did, he allowed me to come to Ericeira. And when I decided, okay, I'm gonna buy a house, all those things that I did, money from sponsors, money from working contests, allow me to have a little bit of money to initiate that big dream,
Wow.
which was to come and live in Ericeira.
So what did your mother think of that, especially just coming from this story of, her being very upset with you when you fell in love with it because you'd bail on school for it? Was she pretty blown away that this thing called surfing was...
Not really. Back then, you didn't have that at all. Nowadays, you see the my mother support me, and I remember she support me in her own way.
Yeah.
I know that she regret give me the money. But back then, you want your kids to go study, to have a degree, so they can,
Have a career. Yeah.
have a career, something, and be better from them. Because my mother,
But you have a career.
yeah, but surfing wasn't something you would see as a career back then.
Sure.
Surfing was something, it was related to drugs. It's very simple.
Yeah.
And my mother, of course, the parents always want you to be the best version of them. And my mother is a very simple person, but very hardworking person that never let anything miss to their kids. So she wanted the best, and I know she regretted giving me the money for the surfboard. After, I remember her way to support me. I remember clearly that was when one day she came to me and told me, "Look, I can't give you lots. What I can give you is clean clothes and food. So now you're making a career out of it, or you're trying. Be wise with the money that you make. Because if I see that you like blowing money, or then if you want to stay here, you have to pay rent and pay stuff like that. I'm not gonna do that, but I expect you to be wise with your money."
Yeah.
And I remember that to this day, because and it even gives me the chills just thinking about it. Because it was a big lesson for me for what came after. So when I bought my house, it was based on those lessons that she gave me, and it was because of that I managed to buy my first apartment. And actually, it was because of those lessons that 1 year I broke my foot and I stayed out of the water like 4 months. And because of that, I didn't make money. I couldn't go work. And my sponsors, they would give me money to go to contests. And I couldn't do anything. So because of those lessons, I had enough money to stay out of the water 1 year and still pay my bills.
Yeah.
It was because of those lessons that my mother taught me. Well, she probably wouldn't understand how precious those lessons were, but those were the things that set me to set up my life, I would say.
Yeah.
And what did she told you when you won the national title?
She was very happy about. I actually don't remember. I'm sure she was happy, but she was most of the time she was more busy working to support her kids, because we were 4, later 3, with the passing of my sister. But yeah, she was more busy going to work every single day, so none of the kids misses anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what about sorry, but
Go ahead.
what about European wise? You at some point you were a European champion with a team, and you got 3rd in a Eurosurf in Ireland. That was a big step up for you, and at that time I think it was 2000 also.
I don't know, maybe don't ask me a lot of dates because I don't remember.
I easily remember the dates, but let me think. Around
Maybe,
2000,
yeah.
2002, 1.
Yeah, back then we had a professional circuit first. It was the EPSA.
Actually, it wasn't. It was 97.
Okay.
97.
So I did. My best result was top 16 on the European tour, and then I had really good results in representing Portugal, which for me was it's the highest dream of every surfer is to be able to be considered one of the best to go and represent your country. For me, that's the top.
Just a high honor, yeah.
Even like being Portuguese champion or European champion individually, that doesn't top, in my point of view, the honor that is representing your country. And yeah, I got 3rd in the Europeans in
Ireland.
In Ireland, I remember it was the first
Classic
time.
Van Doren.
Yeah, Classic Van Doren. It was the first time we were the European champions by a team.
97. Rodrigo Heredia won the title. Yeah.
We won over France, which back then they were dominant.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. And curiously enough, the next Europeans that they did in Van Doren, we also were champions.
Yeah. Exactly.
On the second time. And I went back also.
But by that time,
I was a champion there too.
That cold water.
Yeah.
That's there.
Because you a lot of times you represented Portugal as senior man and masters division.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you won some.
Yeah, I was I was a master champion in masters in I think also no Anglet also Anglet, and then in Bandoran.
Yeah, exactly.
On the second time that they did the Europeans there, I was also in masters or even older.
Yeah, yeah.
I got
Grandmasters probably.
I don't know, something like that.
But you won a lot of them.
I won a couple. It was always a fun event for me because I like the team spirit, being a team. Of course, what matters is for you to go as far as further as you can. But again, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
Everybody has to contribute to good results. And for me, it's a type of event that I always enjoyed.
Yeah. At the point that you're winning things, were you shaping your own boards?
I already started very slowly, because I was always very interested in shaping. Back then, I shaped a little bit by hand, but I was never very keen on it.
Yeah.
And this coincide also with the revolution of the machines.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was a great thing.
Yeah.
Because another thing I always enjoyed a lot was computers. I still remember one day seeing like a computer. I was like, I have to have one of these things. I don't know why. I always felt really, really seduced by them.
Yeah.
And we have a friend in common that actually was a guy that had a big impact on me. Tito da Costa.
Yeah.
He was a guy that he used to come around in the contest with his caravan. He would film. It was also a great time for Portuguese surfing.
Yeah.
Having a guy like that going to Tapia or Pantin or Alcigar.
The first website.
Yeah.
First European website with video on it.
Yeah, called Mar.
Mar.
And I remember we were going to this contest, end of the day, sitting in his caravan watching the video and just hearing him like, man, I can't watch this a lot of times because I can't put it back because it was in tapes.
Okay.
You can't go back and forth because we wanted to see 100 times the same image. No, that's going to ruin the tape. And for us, it was great moment because it means like instant feedback, being there, watching yourself, go back out. And he did a great
he's a visionary. He's a visionary.
And since those times, since those times, I started getting addicted by computers and editing. That actually came to another project I did, which
PBTV.
Yeah, it was my video. I did a video, and I edited. I filmed it, most of it, not my part that I put, but I edited a video. I also, to do that, Tito gave me, the first push. He put the seat on me, and then I went. I remember 3 times a week. I started doing this Final Cut course, just introduction, just so I can learn how to edit more.
No way.
I remember going to Lisbon and 3 times a week, end of the day, just to learn how to edit. So I got a little bit of that going, and then I edited the movie, and we managed to put it to sell in the Fnac stores.
Yeah.
So it was a nice project to do. And
was it a VHS or a DVD?
DVD.
Nice.
I also did the DVD. There was the DVD Studio was the other program that Apple had. I think something.
I don't know. I can't remember.
So I did everything. I did all that. Always with. Sometimes I would go to find some roadblocks.
Yeah.
Hey, Tito, I need your help. Please help me.
All right. I
go all the way and go, you do like this. So it was really cool.
So by the time the shaping program started to come out, you were pretty eager to pick them up.
Yes, from right away. It took a little bit because I remember the first boards I started cutting, I felt very frustrated because although they were closer to a shape, they weren't what I really wanted.
Yeah.
So, and then they start getting the other machines coming around. I remember the best machine around was from Bairro in Fatum. He had a APS 3000. It was, man, it was like, wow, this is really close to a board. Because what I was into was like doing the boards, but from board to board, be able to fine tune little things, so I can feel those things, you know.
Yeah.
And when Bairro had that machine, he was very graceful, and he said, "Okay, I'll cut you some boards." I think I was the only guy he would cut boards. I don't know why I was the only guy.
Because you had a name for yourself already.
I don't know, but he wouldn't cut boards for anyone else. It was just, I'll do it for you. I said, oh, cool, great. So yeah, it was a great time, and but also that time coincide with I wasn't out of the competitions, but it coincided with a little bit of a different time for me in terms of level, because I start getting interested a lot in shaping and not enough in competitions.
Yeah.
And then when I start shaping, it was always very weird, because I wouldn't enjoy the boards at all, to be honest. I was always looking for things to look at, to correct next. So I wasn't looking at about the board, what the board is. I was always in the sense of criticism.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't see the good aspect of the board. I would only see the bad aspect.
Probably just thinking about how can I make this better rather than how can I enjoy it.
Yeah. I was like, I don't like this, but I wouldn't see what I could like.
Yeah.
And actually that gave me a great lesson for things now. Now we have a jumping a lot of years. Now we have a new project that we are developing under Poland. The thing that I really enjoy a lot, the Noir project, which is alternative performance boards. And when we start doing the first test drives, I remember those lessons. So all the boards, we didn't put any measures. We didn't put size. We didn't put anything, because I wanted to enjoy, and I wanted people to enjoy the board for what it is.
Yeah.
Not be thinking like, oh, it's a 6'1" or it's a 5'11". Maybe it should be a 6'0", or 30 liters. Maybe it should be 31. I didn't want that, so I didn't put anything.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a board for you to try. Try it.
Don't think too much about it. Just enjoy.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, you know. And it was all that because of all things that, you know, I went through when I started shaping, you know.
Yeah. Wow. What board do you have, like a model out of the Noir collection now that you find that you're most enjoying?
I can't pinpoint one.
Okay.
I have maybe 3 of them that I really, really enjoy for different reasons. I like one called the Sinister. It has a step deck. I like that a lot because it's really close to a really performance shortboard, 3-fin.
Yeah.
And I like that one because of that, because I still like to perform. And yeah, and this also comes in that direction. We didn't want to make just boards just to glide and, you know, put the knees together and go down the line trying to look good.
Yeah.
We want boards to do that, but also to perform, for you to be able to sharp turns and go deep on bottom turn, and if you want to go straight, you can go straight.
Yeah.
So that's one of the boards I like a lot. Then I have one called Midnight, which is a little bit like kind of a mid-length, but in twin fin. A little bit more area up the front. And I like that in a bigger size, like 6'5" in epoxy.
Yeah.
So it floats a lot. So it has a lot of gliding. And I like that because of the gliding.
Yeah.
Just paddle easy, just to go high line, come down, and then you gain so much speed that you do these long arcs, but everything very smooth.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. And then I have a little short one, a little bit more fishy, but shorter on the nose. That it's called the Umbra, which also I like in epoxy
Yeah.
because it's a shorter board, but it's super fast in small waves.
Mm.
And I like that one because I can go really short on that, but it has a lot of flotation, so it sits really on top of the water. Because of the characteristics of the board and the size and the construction, makes it really fast and really, I wouldn't say nervous, but really reactive.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot, especially when it's small.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those three, I would say, my favorites.
Sounds like a good mix. Sounds like
Yeah,
pretty much no matter what the ocean's throwing at you, you're gonna have a solution for it there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's developed under Poland's umbrella, right?
Poland, they are our partners,
Okay.
and they are a good and important partner. But the brand came a little bit of the necessity, I guess, to explore other things. It's not that I'm fed up of shortboards, but sometimes when you shape and you shape always the same thing, it becomes a little bit repetitive.
Yeah.
And I spent so many hours in the computer, and the computer for me is a great tool. I love the program because it broadens your ideas a lot.
Do you use Shape 3D or AccuShaper?
3D.
Okay.
And one thing I learned to enjoy about the program is numbers. I was never very good at math or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but nowadays because of the Shape 3D, I love numbers, because a lot of the times it's combinations of numbers what you do in surfboards, and from time to time you start getting these combinations that you really know that work. Distribution from the middle up or distribution from the middle down, rockers, thickness marks on the 24 inches to the tail. You start having these number combinations that this works, this works for that one.
Yeah.
And when you get to that point where you get these formulas of numbers that work, everything becomes really fun,
Yeah.
because all of a sudden those combinations of numbers work in a lot of stuff, and they gave you a guarantee of some kind of performance on the board, and the performance that you want on the board. And I really enjoy that. But again, coming to the Noir came from that, like doing shortboards all the time, 3-fin shortboards, and then you start storing in your computer different designs that sometimes you do just, let me try different lines, let it store here, let it stay here. That's why all of a sudden on Noir we have like 15 different models, and you could have more, because it's all those years of things accumulated that your mind starts to travel to other direction. But you go, no, let me go back here because I have to do this 3-fin performance board,
Yeah.
and I still enjoy that, and I really do, because that's my background. My background is performance boards.
What do you tell someone that goes to you and say, "Hey, I need a 35-liter board"? What do you do to one guy? Like
If I can tell them, I say, look, don't look at the liters, look at the combination of thickness and width to give you the liters. And I say this too many times, actually, that I can make you a board with 30 liters that it's narrow and thick, but a board that is 30 liters, but it's wider and thinner. And it's two different boards.
Yeah.
So the liters itself, it's almost worthless. And when you put the liters to different materials like EPS and epoxy, it's even different. If there was something that would be a little bit more accurate, it wouldn't be the liters, but maybe the buoyancy, buoyancy, because that gives you an exact mark on how the board is going to sit on top of the water. But that's harder to get to manage, because there's materials that come into that.
Yeah.
But maybe one day, if we have the way to do that more accurate on the Shape 3D, putting the materials, putting the densities of the EPSs and stuff like that, with correct measures of the glassing and stuff like that, then would be, it'd be a good mark to have the buoyancy instead of the leaders.
So for example, if you had a board with like the same outline, same dimensions, same outline, everything, but one just had way more rocker, I'd assume that would just be less buoyant. Is that kind of the type of things that would influence?
Yeah, it would be a little bit, yeah. Because also the rockers, they influence the way the board's going to float.
Yeah.
But for me, there's different aspects on the board that are more important. Like the rockers, that obviously they influence the board, how he's gonna glide. Nowadays I like more flatter boards, although the rockers are starting to come back a little bit, because we went through that period where the boards were really a lot of curve in it, and then we went to a period where the boards started getting a little bit more flatter.
Yeah.
Because I guess because people wanted to go faster, not just fit the maneuvers on the pocket, but they wanted to be faster. And I guess a flatter board goes faster, But nowadays, I noticed that a lot of the team riders we work, they start to ask a little bit more curves.
Yeah.
I want more curve. I want more continuous curve. Rocker on the nose, entry rocker on the nose, a little bit more exit on the tail. I guess because surfing is getting to a point where they have already that natural speed, because the boards are lighter, the boards are more reactive, so they just want to do things a little bit more critical on the pocket, I guess.
What you do at what you do at Poland is you have a few different labels now, including Noir, and you have a bunch of team riders as well. But I'm curious about how it works with the different labels. Like essentially, if you're making a Paisel or a Timmy or a Stretch or a Kila Ipa for somebody over here, and you want to be as honor that person's brand and design as much as you can, but you might also have a team rider on the other side that wants to change some things. Is it do you say you have to go pretty by the book, or do you I'd imagine you have a lot of correspondence with those people, but what's it like kind of being the middleman between representing somebody's brand in the sense of you making their board and dealing with somebody who might want changes to that board?
Well, first, to answer that better, I would go a little bit back, which is us as manufacturers, we have to guarantee first that the boards that we do from the brands we represent are the best as they were envisioned by the people that create them. That's the first thing. And for that, part of my work is also getting all the information about the models and guarantee that if it's me or other back shapers in the factory, we all do the same board. For instance, if we have a specific model that has a swallowtail, and the swallowtail has a certain deepness and a certain finish, could be classic or could have edges. We have to guarantee that if a store orders the same board, different sizes, the same model, that if it's me or the other shapers, we'll do exactly the same.
Yeah.
Same deepness of the tail, the same finish. So we don't go to a surf shop and have the same model with different finishes of the tail.
Sure.
Because that's not a correct, it's not the correct way to put the same model. So part of my work is that one, is to collect and to get all that information and put it to the team, so we have the guarantee that we're doing exactly what the shaper wants. The rest I would say is well, all the shapers, they have different ways of seeing it. For instance, Paisel, he doesn't mind having alterations to his files, but in his own words, as long as the models don't get mischaracterized, that he would tell me that for me the worst thing is to pick up a model, my own model, and don't recognize that model.
Yeah.
I don't want that. But it gives us freedom to alter the designs to the clients.
Yeah.
But obviously Sometimes we have requests like, oh, I want a Pisalian, but with the rail of the ghost. Obviously, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
If they ask like, oh, I like the Pisalian, but I want a little bit lower rail, we'll do that
Yeah.
to a certain instant. But everything that's discharacterized the model, we don't do it. But we always recommend another model that can have the same characteristics that they do. But all the shapers, again, all the shapers have different ways. You know, Paisel for instance, is a good example because it is a good example of the extremities. It gives us a good flexibility in adapting his files, but at the same time, it gives us all the information that we need to have those boards done like you would do it.
Yeah.
For instance, every time we have a new model, he sends us. So this model is from 5.5 to 6.5. Here are the whole stock files.
Yep.
This is available on swallow, squash, and round pin. And this is the fin markings for the 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8. So it gives us all that information so it can be ensured that we're going to do the boards with the markings of the fins or whatever,
Yeah.
like you would do it.
Yeah.
So for us is great because we feel very supported, and we don't rely on the second interpretations of me or the shaper, so we can all follow the same rules, which for me, I think it's great.
Yeah. Has it been fun just being able to interact with shapers like him, just people at that level?
Oh yes. When I started working in Poland, I always tell that my perception about surfing and my head, my process, my thinking process went from this to this immediately. Because all of a sudden, you always have your own ideas, of course, but when you see other people's designs, what they intend with that line or this, you go like, holy shit, this is sacrilege. How the hell did he do it?
Yeah.
Because you see only your designs, and now all of a sudden you see designs that from guys who are regardless the best designers in the world,
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you see, oh, I didn't know that I could do this. All of a sudden you start breaking your own rules.
Yeah.
You start taking it off because you see, oh man, this really works, and you start drinking from all those influences,
Yeah.
and all of them are different, the way they design, the way they see designs, just another example, for instance, Timmy Patterson, and the guy is just like freak, is amazing, I always say that he could shape a board with a spoon and a knife. And you go to his shaping room, and the guy has 100 tools, and 99 of those tools are made by him.
Wow.
But again, and I tell this as not as a criticism at all, but his room reminds me a Control Chaos.
Yeah.
Because he has so many tools, and a lot of times I notice like he's always looking for the tool, but he was like, I can't find this tool. But this one, and he does it, So he can do a board with a spoon and a knife.
Yeah.
Like MacGyver.
Yeah, but his boards, for instance, in terms of design, they are pretty refined on the nose. All the rails are really rounded and nice, tucked on the hands. While Paisel, for instance, he has always more foam up the front, always. And those are the two, for instance, characteristics I would say, dealing with files from Paisel and boards from Paisel and Timmy, for instance. But obviously you have way other differences. Aquila is very refined on these rails, for instance. You have a lot of differences like that. But for a guy like me that is in contact with all these these designs of these amazing guys, man, it's like it's crazy, you know. But at the same time, gives me a big sense of responsibility because I have to make sure that those guys are well represented by us, you know, to a point where we really try to put in practice the boards and the way they envision the boards.
Yeah.
You know, for us, it's very important, and for me, especially, it's very important. It was more because back then I was so stiff about it that I wouldn't change this or that because I was like, oh, I don't want to change something from that Paisel did or Kimi did, you know. Nowadays I know that there's little things I can stretch it
Yeah.
for the equilibrium or for the balance of the design and for what the client wants, but still always with that in mind of putting there exactly or trying to put the most what the shapers envisioned, because in the end it's their hard work, it's their IP that it's there represented. It shouldn't be us that's going to change that, you know?
Can you tell us a little bit also about your love for bigger waves? How did it started? And because I remember after that 97 Euro surf that Portugal won for the first time in Bandoran, we had before that we had the Billabong challenges in Madeira, which you were invited and you got a final. And you and Gregorio also represented Portugal as a team at Todos Santos, at the huge, that K2, that Taylor Knox got the prize of biggest wave. So how did it start? How did you develop it? And how is it today?
It was a natural thing, actually, to be honest. Like, I remember when I started surfing, I wouldn't say that was crazy, but it was never something I would look at the ocean and go like, oh, I'm not going to go. I would see the waves. I just want to be in the water, no matter how it is, you know. Even like my first board, I fixed the nose like 10 times because I remember going down the beach, closing out, just, you know, try to stand up and just nose dive and nose pearl and break the nose a lot of times. Even my own nose also.
A lot of noses.
But it was a natural thing. It was never something that I want to be a big rider or big wave rider. And back then, back then I don't think, at least in my head, there wasn't that separation of a surfer was a surfer.
Yeah.
You surf whatever you want, man. You surf. There wasn't that thing of, oh, I'm just going to be a big wave rider, big wave surfer, or small wave surfer. It was, a surfer is a surfer, serves everything by the love of it, you know. And that's how it was for me. I would surf everything for the love of it.
But your surf would get better if it was bigger.
And then obviously I started getting more interested on that because, you know, I felt very comfortable. And those are the waves I really wanted the most, you know. After when I started getting technical better, a little bit better, I would start going, and because characteristic wise, in terms of characteristics personally, I was a very stiff surfer on top of the board. So it was really hard for me to surf small waves. So I was always feeling more comfortable with push. So obviously I start going more for those type of waves.
Big waves, big turns.
Yeah, and it was where I was comfortable and having more fun, I guess. But to be honest, I never consider myself a big wave surfer because I never searched too much of it. I would, of course, if there's a big swell, I would go, you know, from Carcavelos, I would go to Ericeira, and then I started traveling more to Madeira, for instance. But I wasn't the guy who, like you have today, that, you know, there's a huge swell. There's guys from the other side of the world that come to Nazaré, or they go to Jaws, and, you know, they follow the globe during the year.
Yeah.
To find big waves. That's their life, you know. that's a big wave surfer. Back then, I never considered myself. I enjoyed bigger waves. I was comfortable on it. Yeah, and, just did it for the love, and I did some nice stuff. Like that contest that you mentioned, it was very nice to be there. To witness there.
When you saw those waves at Todos, what did you thought about that?
I was scared shitless, especially when I saw me and Gregorio had a 9.6, this thin, and then you had all the guys like 10-footers, and back then we passed a little bit the thinner part of the boards.
Yeah.
Boards were starting to get really thick, So you had Telenox with a 10.0 or something like that, or 11-foot board. And me and Gregorio had a 9.6 for both of us. That Paulin had it was a Paulin board, as a something on the wall, that he did. Really peeny, really thin, really rocky. A lot of rocket.
Was Taylor just like hauling ass, paddling past you?
You couldn't paddle on that thing. It was, I'll tell you what, I was completely happy when I lost that contest from the quarterfinals. I went all the way to the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Wow. I got or 9 or 13, I don't remember. But I was really happy that I lost.
I'm done.
When I lost, I didn't catch a wave on my heat. It was huge.
Was it like getting bigger through the day or something too, or was it just?
Yeah, and Todos, it's you have a lot of these massive bubbles coming on the face.
Yeah.
And when you take off, and when you take off down up the point, you have these massive bubbles coming up, and man, I didn't catch one single wave. I had a couple of opportunities, but man, I don't know. If it was nowadays, you have other kind of support.
Yeah.
That you would probably feel more safe going.
Yeah.
But back then, like, I didn't felt safe at all.
Did you even have like a vest on or anything?
No, that was
no
not
vest.
such thing.
It was double
There's
leash.
no.
It was 98, I think.
I don't know. You asked me for date.
98,
Like
something like that. But at Madeira, you were more comfortable. It wasn't that huge.
yeah, Madeira was, I was more comfortable, of course. But it's different scenarios. Not that the way Todos was big, Madeira gets that big or even bigger, but it was the whole thing around it. It wasn't just one thing. It was the fact that the board was super thin. I didn't have any paddle at all. I would go late always. Even the heat before the ocean started getting bigger, I was already late. Taking off.
Yeah.
Was all those things that accumulated to one thing where you got like, I'm not safe at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was happy that I lost.
Yeah. Best loss of your life.
Yes, best loss.
Still search for big waves today.
I tried to go a little bit, not as much as I used to, because obviously to go bigger, you need to have a little bit of physical preparation, or you have that, or you're younger, to be honest. When you're young, you have a natural preparation,
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm older. I work a lot in other things that I also like. So I don't have a lot of all that time to every time that it's good, even on the wave that I love, that make me come here and move to Ericeira, which is cautious, which is my big passion. Even when it's good there, I don't have all the availability to be there on those days.
Yeah.
So I try to go as much as I can. Once or twice a year, I try to go to Madeira, which is a place I love, and drop.
Some bombs.
But depends on the availability. Most of it.
You also developed a career as a coach.
Yeah, I did that for a while.
This man did a lot of stuff.
I can see
He
that.
does a lot of things, man.
Yeah, the coaching actually came about as.
And you got really good at it also.
Yeah, well, the coaching for me was something that came as a giving to surfing. I started coaching without without wanting to make money at all.
Yeah.
It was just because I felt so grateful for the life that surfing gave me, because everything that I have, and I don't have a lot, but I have, for a kid that came from a very humble place where the scenario of life was very limited, was drugs, was robberies, was stuff like that. That was what you see, and that was what probably I would become.
Yeah.
Because that's what you see. So you become what you see in front of you. So surfing took me out of those things. So was one time I realized that, man, surfing gave me a lot. Gave me the ability of speaking English. I have 7th grade, and I speak English, because I traveled. Surfing gave me that,
Yeah.
the ability to travel. So came to a time in my life where I felt very grateful about what surfing gave me and keeps giving me. So I started, look, if I can help a kid that has good skills, but it's not properly supported, and he can make a life out of it and take as much as, or even more from surfing that I take, I'm going to help him. So I start coaching kids because of that. And I coach a couple of them. One of the kids that everybody probably knows better was Philippe Gervis.
Mm-hmm.
And it was exactly that story. I saw this Philippe Gervis was like this size. And I saw him surf it. I was like, whoa, proper movements on top of the board. Everything was so perfect. And I was like, man, this kid has everything so young. If he keeps developing and if he keeps evolving, man, he can do whatever with surfing, whatever he wants. So I went to him and said, look, I would like to help. He had a coach at the time, but during that time, it was funny because he lived in Cascais. He never surfed around Cascais in his life.
Yeah.
Until that point, because I think his mother had a surf camp in Alentejo. So every time he would go surf would be on the weekends. They would go down to Alentejo and surf there in Sines, around Sines.
Yeah, he's from Cascais, but he was local from Portugal, Sines, São Torpes, around that.
But he had a coach back then. So I called him and said, look, I would like to help him. And back then I was doing full-on contests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I would like to help Philippe. So the guy agreed that I could, have other tools to help him out. So I started coaching him and all other kids, but always with that intent of give him what surfing gave me, and then it developed later on to start coaching more and more kids, to a point where I was doing a lot of stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
I was shaping. Back then I start shaping. I still was a sander. I was doing a couple of contests and I was coaching. So I couldn't do everything. So I still said, look, I have to give on something.
Yeah.
Give up something. So, and then this was more or less when Paulo come to me, say, look, we were looking for somebody with some characteristics. I think you could fit in our structure. Would you be interested? And I said, yeah, sure, let's go. For me, it was a dream come true. Because Paulo gave me what I always dreamed. I always had a dream about surfboards, which was a whole bunch of blanks.
Yeah.
I wanted a lot of blanks.
Yeah.
So I can try to put all those things that I had in my head. I always had that since I started shaping. Man, I wish I would have 100 blanks, 200 blanks. So Paulo gave me that in a certain sense, because he gives me the flexibility and the possibility of putting my ideas into the blanks. So and then obviously after a while I gave up coaching. I gave up sanding, because I was still sanding with a friend of mine, which back then I was sanding for him and he would do my brand, because I had a brand before I started working for Paulo.
Yeah.
and I would work with this guy called Mika Surfboards, which was actually one of the big influences on shaping for me. And we get along really good in all levels, but mainly in boards, in construction of boards, because we would see the boards at at the same level, you know.
Yeah.
So I would shape my boards. He would glass them. I would sand them, my own boards. I would sand them his boards. So it was a perfect relationship, you know. And it was just me and him who would do everything. So it was very easy for us to get to a point on the boards that we really envisioned, because we didn't have other people in other stages. It was just him and me. And then, Poland came around, and I stopped working also with him because I needed to put more time in Poland. And the dream came true, and it keeps being alive.
Speaking of dreams, you also have, you said it was your dream to live in Ericeira.
Yeah.
Now you have a family in
That was another
Ericeira.
dream, yes.
And the four of you have a wife and two kids, and the four of you you're probably one of the families here in Ericeira that spends most time in the water. It's crazy the amount of times everyone sees you, the four of you in the water. How is that family time?
Man, that's another. I feel that I lived so many lives, so many different lives. That was another one. I always wanted to be a father. It was always another dream I had. Like, I was sure that I was born to be a father. And actually, I'm gonna tell a story because I think this story needs to be told.
The stories, man. Come on.
It's how I met my wife.
Yeah.
I met
Surfing also gave you
yes.
your wife.
I met her actually I was in a contest with Mika in Areia Branca near Peniche.
Yep.
So I was there, and he asked me, "Hey, there's two girls here from Norway that they're surfing here. They're staying in Ericeira. You think you can give them a lift?" So I gave him a lift to her and another friend back to Ericeira. And I kept talking about this. And my wife remembers that I was always talking about my mother, because my mother is my big reference. It's my rock. It's my everything I do is because of her strength. So I came to Ericeira. I gave them a lift. And then when I arrived to Ericeira, I said, "Nice to meet you. Hope to see you someday." And then on that, I think it was the same year, we had a European contest. I was in a Portuguese team in France, in Anglet. And she was in the Norwegian team. And I remember, the funny thing about these things is that sometimes I don't have a lot of memories about a lot of stuff, but I do have a memory. Although back then I was with another person, but I remember clearly her dress and everything. And on the parade, the country parades, I remember she was with this green dress, and he had a crown of flowers in the head.
Proper Norwegian.
Yeah, and I remember seeing her there because, this is the girl I gave a lift. And then on that contest, I was walking from a contest site, because normally these contests have 2 contest sites, so you can do multiple categories. I was walking from one to the other one to give support to one of our teams. I think it was a longboarder. And I remember seeing her sitting down on the sands. And I went to say hello. "Hey, hello, how are you? Do you remember me?" "Oh, I remember you. I saw you also in the parade." And we talked a little bit, after a while. "Oh, okay. Good luck for your team." And she wishes me also good luck. I actually end up being a winner on that contest.
There you go.
And
That'll help.
And that was it,
That helped. For sure.
And then after a couple of months, the relationship I was in broke up. And I decided to go for some trips. And I went to Hawaii, which was a place I normally would go every end of the year. I went to Hawaii to a month or something, month and a half. And then after that, when I came back, I didn't felt like staying in Ericeira because I was still recovering from a breakup. And I decided, one of my friends, which is Alexandre Grilo, is one of the owners of La Pointe Surf Camps.
Okay.
He said, look, man, come to Morocco's with me. Go to Morocco's. I'll be there in 1 week. But man, go there and just, let's go surf and, take your mind out of things. So I said, okay, let's go. Pack up the bag and went to Morocco. When I got there, she was there.
Wow, you guys just kept
She was
growing.
following you.
And let me get it. Third time was a charm?
Yeah.
She was there. So I met her there. And so I was like, oh, it's funny that you're here. And she was also there because she broke up with her boyfriend at the time. So she was there already for 3 months or 2 months.
Wow.
So, and one thing about her is that she was always very amped about surfing. All about her is surfing.
Still crazy.
So we became really good friends because, I wanted to surf. She wanted to surf, and then I remember after a while, she had to go home because she was going to go on a trip around the world with her mother for 3 months. So I said, okay. So I was there for a month already, a month and a half. And the funny thing is that when I got there, I decided, look, because I wasn't having problems in sleeping. I was medication, stuff like that. I said, look, I'm not going to have all these shits. I'm going to quit this stuff. And from that day on, I started sleeping good again.
Of course.
He was curious. So we became really good friends. And she had a month before she was going to go around the world. And I said, look, I have an apartment in Ericeira. If you want to go, come. And you're welcome to stay there. So she stayed for almost a month with me. It was time for her to go. I said, okay. It was nice meeting you. Maybe one day we see each other again. So she went. We kept in contact. She would send me postcards and stuff. She wrote the book of the days. Every day I would rip a page from all the days that she was going to be away.
Oh,
But I was not sure if she was going to come back. That's the honest truth.
the book might end.
And then one day, somebody knocked on the door. I opened. It was her. And then
She never left.
she never left.
Wow. How,
Started deciding to have kids. We had kids, and we're lucky that our kids share the same stoke about surfing and about being outside as me and her. So answering to the question that took
Yeah.
a long time,
Yeah.
man, we're stoked about surfing. My kid loves surfing.
And water.
Yeah,
It's
and
talk
water.
about water. If
How old
there's
are
no
they?
waves.
They're 12 and 14.
okay, cool.
And what we did with them was get them addicted by beach.
Yeah.
Take them to the beach, let them roll on the sand, jump from the cliffs, go to the puddles and try to see crabs and just the life being on the beach.
Yeah.
It's the best life ever. So eventually they start, of course, getting more interested in surfing. And nowadays they surf like me. My wife probably surfs more than me, like 3 times more than me.
Yeah.
If she can, she goes in the water. So, but this story is actually nice, but I wouldn't say that she would tell it the same way as me.
Mhm.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
So I
Sure.
keep my version. She will keep hers.
Well, then I just have one more question for you. What is your wife riding?
What's my?
What board is your wife riding these days?
She rides everything.
What's her favorite right now?
She rides everything. She has this habit of sometimes stealing boards from me
Uh-huh.
because I'm an idiot actually. Because sometimes I get so excited by a board, but I want to share that
You
excitement.
overhype it to her?
And I go like, man, this board is so fun. Like it happened with this board from Paisel, the Wildcat. Because I try boards so I can see what makes the board tick, not just the file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I tried the boards and I got so excited. It was not the first time, but one of the first twins that I really enjoyed. I was like, whoa, this board is amazing. And I went to her and said, try this board. And she's a person of habits. When she likes something, she doesn't need anything else.
Yeah.
No, I have these boards. No, but try it. You have to try this board. So she tried the board.
And the
She
board.
came home. She said, "Look, this board is mine now. Go to Poland and buy this board because this board now is mine."
Yeah.
So, and sometimes I do that mistake. And
Careful.
she steals the boards from me. And but she rides everything. She has long boards. She rides short boards. She rides twin fins, quads. The other day, actually, on this same store, she calls me. I was working. She was like, "Oh, I want to buy a board." And I was like, "You want to buy a board? I make boards. What are you talking about?" Yeah, there's this foam board here, this mix foam board, Mick Fanning board. It's really nice. I tried it already. It's really fun. Come on, I can make you a board. I'll make you a board. Why are you gonna spend money on a board like that? Like, no, but I want this board. This board is super fun. Okay, buy the board.
So now you have a Mick Fanning soft top.
Yeah.
There you go.
I
Add it to the quiver.
Then I have everything. I have. You go to my garage. You have all the foam boards. You have these little mini body boards that you put in front of your hands. My
Even
kids-
hand planes. I saw her.
Yeah, she goes
Using-
everything. She just wants to be in the water.
Oh, that's a
Imagine-
pretty dreamy life.
Imagine the budget in wetsuits.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
When it's all year round, it's
It's crazy.
Yeah.
you gotta start making wetsuits then.
Yes, maybe.
Paulo, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Well, if I'm still around, I see myself still shaping because I don't see my itch about surfboards to die. I'm in love about surfboards, and I wouldn't say that I have the same like thing about surfboards, but I still love surfboards a lot, and I can't wait to make the next board or try the next thing, you know. So I see myself if I'm still around, I see myself still shaping, and hopefully with my kids surfing.
Yeah.
I still want to be in the water.
Yeah.
And 10 years means that my kid's going to be 22. I can't, man, it's so cool to imagine how your kid's going to surf or how it's going to be his life around surfing back then. So I'm very excited about it. Yeah, but I see myself surrounded by surfing for sure.
Mm-hmm. So maybe your mom at some point will ask you to put her in the water, right? Okay, son, come on. Now it's time to
Maybe,
try it.
maybe, I don't know. I think she's, yeah. Meanwhile, I think the regret she had, it came to fruition, and she wrote, well, maybe it was a good thing. Bad things sometimes come to good things.
Yeah.
So I think that regret actually changed for pride, maybe. Because I might not be the best, you know, I'm not the richest guy, but to be able to make a life out of it, and to have the ability to work and do it by yourself, not by yourself, but it only depends on you to get better or not. It's really rewarding in the end. And I think she realizes that, like, okay, he puts the effort. Now he's getting better, and he's getting more success. So hopefully, I just want to learn. I want to learn. I want more.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Maybe doing another video or something in 10 years.
Maybe.
Get out the DVD.
Yeah, maybe. For now, I want to become even better shaper. That's what I want. I want to control even more the things I do, and yeah, man, I want to be really good shaper.
Well, hey, you got the blanks, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Great. Well, it was lovely chatting to you.
Thank you,
for the
Paulo.
time.
Pleasure. Oh,
Ooh.
and
Put you on the spot here. One more.
yeah, my kid is a funny kid, and I couldn't miss the opportunity of share with him this experience, because I know he's going to remember it for the rest of his life. One day he came to me and said, look, he treats me by far, which is Norwegian
Uh-huh.
for father, because my wife, she's Norwegian, if I didn't mention it. So he comes to me and says, "Fah, I want my independence." He had like 11.
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Well, what do you mean by independence? I want an electric bike so I can go to the school, so I can go surf." And I was like, "Man, you were 11." "Yeah, but I want my independence." And I thought, "Okay, cool." So I was like, I told him, like, if you get half of the money, I'll give you the other half. So it's like, he was a little frustrated at the beginning, because it was like, how can I make money? Because now it's not like it was before. Now there's not a lot of kids that actually go work at that age because it's not allowed.
Yeah.
So it was, it was getting money from parents, from grandparents, but it was still not enough, not quick enough. So he would come to these stores and ask for stickers, and he would go to the beach, Ribeiradilhas and Ericeira, and sell stickers. Saying, "Hey, can you want to buy a sticker? I'm putting money for my next board." Man, and the guys, him and another friend, sometimes they would do like 80 euros in one day selling
way.
stickers.
Unbelievable.
And last year, before the Christmas, he told me, "Hey, I'm almost with, I think back then it was 800 euros. I'm almost with the 800 euros.
Wow.
So we're going to be able to order the bike." And I was like, I might as well order it now.
Yeah.
So I ordered so he can be here during Christmas.
Yeah.
So sure enough, before Christmas, it was like, "I have 800 euros.
Wow.
And I was like, I showed him on my computer, "Here's the mail. The bike is already coming." And he was like,
Oh.
so yeah. And he went and get. And the funny thing is, like, man, when he started getting money, I was like, I gave him a safe, and I gave him a little notebook. I gave him 20 euros. Said, "Look, here's the book." "Oh, what's the book for?" "Every time you get money, you put the date that you get the money, and you put the total amount that you have.
Yeah.
So every time you have money, you put the date, the money that came in, and the total. So like that, you keep track of what you have and what you spend if you're going to spend." So every time he would get money, he would go to his safe box, he would open it, write it until, so he can get track. And now that I look back, it was really cool to share this experience with him,
Yeah.
because I know he's going to remember forever.
That's incredible.
And now he rides an electric bike.
Yeah. And man, 11 years old, getting 800 euros and not feel the urge to go and spend it in candy and sushi and stuff
That's
like
incredible.
that. It's a great achievement from him. And that actually rubbed into my daughter, who also,
Older.
yeah, she's older, but she also wanted something different. She wanted a cabinet so she can put all her clothes and her tops and drawers. So she did the same thing. She got money, she started getting money for a cabinet, and we gave her half, and she bought it. And I guess they feel a sense of achievement by having these lessons and these things in life.
Wow. That is incredible.
And they're happy kids.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I think we got to wrap up. I got to go grab some stickers. So
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paulo.
we'll see you next week.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Don't
guys.
forget to subscribe.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you for.
It's a pleasure.
Ali,
Thank you.
thanks.
Guys.